So what's different about this review of the Nothing Ear Open? Well, this is our 40th video on open earbuds, so this product is nothing new. Namaste, we're DHRME. Dope homies reach milestones easily.
So this case, nice, thin, pill shape, reminded me a lot of the Oladance OWS and the OWS2. A very similar kind of elongated pill-shaped case and a slightly chunkier Open Rock S case. What is nice about the Nothing case in comparison with these cases, one, it's flat, so you can lay it on a table very well. It has this dimple, which is a fidget spinner, all minor things, and the clear lid, very nothing, enabling you to see whether the buds are in the case or not. In this case, one of the buds is on Vincent and not in the case, as you can see. Now, one of the problems I have with the case, and it's not a major issue, but something to keep in mind is, these buds rattle in the case. So they're not rock solid inside the case. Not a problem, it can just get a little bit annoying. But a big positive about this case for me is the fact that it is IP54 rated. The case as well as the buds. So you can be confident of using these near, dusty situations or liquid situations, as the case may be. The pinch controls, I have some issue with. First of all, I have issue with the fact that these are pinch controls. So my favorite type of controls on earbuds of this type has to be buttons. So the Open Rock X, which we reviewed, or the older Open Rocks, much prefer buttons. Also on the Shox Open Run Pro 2, buttons are just better. Sorry, you can't convince me otherwise. And pinch is fine. There's a couple of issues that I have with the pinch on the Nothing specifically. One is you get double, triple pinch and hold, double pinch and hold. So those kind of gymnastics are going to be a bit of a problem, because if you're triple pinching them, often they're going to move out of place. And we'll talk about fit in a bit. But that is one issue. And the second issue is that the pinch itself should have been activated with a little less resistance. Now you need a fair bit of force to squeeze it, which means even a single pinch can end up moving your buds. So that was a bit no bueno. You do get USB-C charging on the case. No wireless charging here. You get 8 hours of battery life advertised. We tested it and we got quite a bit less, 7 hours and change. So not bad, but it's not quite the 8 hours that Nothing advertises it to be. Now, comfort and grip, I like how this looks. I like the materials they've used. It's soft, but the end of the buds, they are kind of like made of metal or metal-like, and they really get cold to the touch. So you are going to feel it in colder climates if you use these over there. And even the ear hook itself gets a bit cold. That was interesting. Now, the ear hook is not the thinnest out there, and this might be a problem with glasses. If you're wearing, sunglasses or just regular glasses, we have seen much thinner ear hooks than these. It's not super chunky, but it's not the thinnest out there. And these are quite comfortable, but they're not the most secure. And the reason for that is the size of the ear hook. At least on my ear, they kind of move around a little bit. Something with a much smaller ear hook will fit smaller ears. So it really is very relative to how your ear is sized and how fat your ears are. Sorry, not shaming. But overall, fine for this form factor.
So what about phone calls? The Nothing Ear Open did respectably in noisy conditions. No real issues.
So Nothing Ear Open in noisy conditions with cars passing by. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. So that was the Nothing Ear Open in noisy conditions with cars passing by at a reasonable speed. And I'm about 1 lane away from the street. You can hear me.
But it totally falls apart in the wind. That is all you heard, the wind. All in all, these are average, if not below average for calls. If you're looking for an extraordinary pair of open ears for calls, then something like the Huawei is so much better. The Nothing gives you a couple of Fuckman controls, but nothing spectacular. You get answer hang up, obviously, and you can control the volume. That is it. You cannot mute the microphone straight from the buds.
Now let's talk about design, because as we said, this case looks really nice and this clear plastic looks really nice. But 3 things to keep in mind about the clear plastic. Number 1, it might yellow over time and look ugly. Number 2, scratches and micro scratches are going to show up super easily. And number 3, clear plastic means virgin plastics, which means not recycled plastic, if that matters to you. Let's talk about sound quality because I'm sure that matters to you if you're buying earbuds. So the max volume is pretty high on these. So what that means is you will probably hear these even when it's relatively loud outside, but it's just the nature of open ear buds that if there is sound outside, earbuds are going to find it a bit difficult to compete, and they should probably not compete because then they'll pump up the volume much more, leading to hearing damage over time. So be careful with open ear buds for that reason. They are going to give you more volume than in-ear buds which seal off the world a bit. Those of course have their own issues. Now the EQ is great. There's a parametric EQ, and as opposed to many apps that give you a parametric EQ, it also gives you a nice preview of what that EQ is going to look like when you change the Q factor and stuff like that. Very user friendly, and you can create a profile and the profile gets saved on the buds, which is really nice. User friendly EQ, parametric. That's the powerful advanced EQ. A small issue with switching to advanced EQ is that it really drops volume. Even if you change nothing on the EQ, as soon as you just switch from simple to advanced, you'll see a volume drop. Now you're getting SBC AAC, which is I think fine for this form factor. Don't waste battery life on LDAC and aptX things, please, manufacturers, for this form factor. We don't have very big expectations, but having said that, pretty good bass on these. It is probably one of the best bass I've heard on these, but you'll be surprised as to how many other open ear buds can do bass. Of course, it's not comparable to in-ears or over-ears. Just stop saying that if you're marketing these products. It's nice for the convenience factor. You're not going to get the same bass as those products. Now, overall, I thought that these sounded a bit crowded with busier music. Mids sound a bit smoothened over. So especially like listening to rock and, metal guitars, it's just not as good for rock as the Open Rock X. All the Open Rock products actually, if you're into rock, those are the products to check out, at least for me. But overall, a decent sound, and that customizability is killer. I haven't seen that on any other product of this nature. So kudos to Nothing for their software design on that. Time to talk about extras. And there's quite a bit on this bad boy. There's no wireless charging like we said, but you do get Google Fast Pair and Microsoft Swift Pair of all things. So if you're in the Windows ecosystem, these will be easy to pair. You also get a low lag mode if you're a gamer. You get to Find My Earbuds, but it's not using any kind of network. It's simply using the speakers of these earbuds to play a loud sound. There are no speakers on the case, so you can't find your case, but yeah, that's how it is. And if you have a Nothing phone with Nothing OS, you get Chat GPT, which you can activate with a squeeze on these earbuds. You also get multi-point, which we expect now at this price. So overall, pretty feature packed, but one extra it is missing, and is important for this form factor, is the fact that there is no adaptive volume. Because when you're in a quiet space, these sound fantastic, but when you go out, not only does the EQ completely change, but also the volume. So even Sony did it with the original Link Buds like 2 years ago at this point. I did expect that Nothing would also have that, but they do not. So you are going to have to adjust the volume on your own and also the EQ. And of course, there is no active noise cancelling. And now you might say, oh, that's silly because it's open ears. You don't want active noise cancelling. Yes, but the AirPods 4 have shown us that you can get pretty reasonable active noise cancelling and transparency mode with these kinds of products. So I think the Nothing Open 2 might just feature that. So should you get it? It's a great product in many respects. Good bass, that Nothing design, decent volume, but at $150, you're definitely paying the Nothing tax. Now, there are more expensive open ear products out there, but there are also cheaper products and from Nothing, like the Nothing Ear A, that will give you features like ANC for 50% less price. Now, we've done a full comparison of the Nothing Ear versus the Nothing Ear A, so check that out if you're interested in those products. And if you're interested in other open ears, well, here's a year-end video that pits the Nothing Open against a ton of other options, some of them much cheaper.
And if you need buds that don't rattle about, stay in place even when you touch the touch controls, then take a look at this video's sponsor, Shokz. They make the Open Fit and the Open Fit Air, both extraordinary products. And if you want to know what the difference is between both of these products and where you can buy them, they'll be linked down below in the description. And a thanks goes out to our YouTube members and patrons as well, and a special thanks to our highest tier, that is the Fuckman tier. Thank you, Gamma Panda, and thank you, Paula.
You've been thinking nothing about the Open, and we've been DHRME. Dui.